All right, YouTube. So today's video, we're actually making a very special episode. You guys have been watching. Leica is making some waves out there, and they've announced the EV1, which is bye-bye rangefinder, but it's really not bye-bye rangefinder. We're going to talk about that, but more than that, why Leica? Here's a red dot. You guys have all been on my channel for quite some time. If you're not, someone that's been here for a while, welcome, and hopefully you'll subscribe. My name is Amar. I actually have been shooting for about 35 plus years. So I've been around the block, owned a lot of things like you see behind me. Shot a Leica M3 double stroke in the day. After that, sold everything, went to digital, and never looked back until this guy, which is the Q2. And you're probably sitting there thinking, what the heck is a Q2 doing with this EV1, video? So this is a kind of a really interesting quandary that we actually sit in today. Where is Leica going? Why did they do what they did? A lot of people are kind of hurt because they've been with Leica for so long. They love their M cameras. I love the M cameras. They're great. Why did I pick something like this? And let me use my use case. You do whatever you want to do. It's up to you. And we're going to talk about the EV1 in a second. It is truly an incredible offering. Yes, it is $9,000. It would have been closer to $10,000 had they put in the optical rangefinder in there. But it's a little bit cheaper. Anyway, it has an EVF. So let's talk about sort of how we got here. Leica as a company has been around for a very long time. And many of you know, like, my love for Leica. It's been there for a very long time, and it's just a matter of time till I decided to really sit down and say, okay, enough's enough. I've had it. I'm ready for the Leica now. And that's what I did. And what was the reason for that? Some people wanted me to go get the Q2, the monochrome version of this. I ended up getting the regular Q2 because I actually love to shoot color, and I love Leica color. So I didn't want to have multiple Leica cameras, and I do understand the monochrome is going to have higher dynamic range, less noise in the shadows. I get all that, But honestly, with the way software sits today, right? It's not that hard to handle some of those things. Now, are you going to get the same kind of look out of a this Leica versus the Q2 versus the Q2 monochrome? In some instances, no. The monochrome is going to be more superior on some of the things, the gradations and things like that. And I get that. That was a choice that I had to make to decide what I wanted to do. So let me explain why this and not an M series camera like you see the EV1, the M11, all these other cameras that are offered. I know myself. If I would have bought an M series camera or even the EV1, I would have probably ended up with 4 to 5 lenses. So obviously, I don't think the money part's the issue. Buying lenses and stuff is great. The problem that I have is I am getting to the point where you end up having too many of these, which is, you can never have enough lenses. I get that. I have found over the years, when you're shooting professionally, this is great because you need the choice depending on what the job is you want to get done. But when you're shooting something like this, this is for you. I don't want to sit there and pick between 4 Leica lenses because each one is going to be so near and dear to my heart. I don't think I'll ever end up going out and actually shooting because I'm going to be just, what lens am I going to use to do this, right? So the Q lineup was perfect for me because the lens on this thing is incredible. And it's the same lens that's on the Q3. So obviously it can resolve up to a 60 megapixel sensor. This is 47. Enough. 47 is more than enough. If you need 60, go ahead and get the other. Knock yourself out. The Q3 is an incredible machine as well. You can save a little bit of money on these. I looked for a long time. I just got lucky. Got a great deal on one. Most of them are selling between 3,600 to about 4,500. Some even up to 5,000, depending on their condition used on the Q2. Which is still a bargain, because when you look at what this lens is at 28 1.7, try buying that on the Leica platform or something similar to the IQ of this lens on what it does. You're going to pay close to $3,000 just for the lens, right? So it was a no-brainer. So that's why I got it. You guys know how I feel about EVFs. Now I'm going to get into the EV1. I am not opposed to Leica doing that. A lot of people that are rangefinder connoisseurs, they're really hurt because it ends an era of sort of, not really ends the era. You took something that was so near and dear to the heart and you changed it now. You digitized it. You did something to it. I hated EVFs. And I went to the Leica store in Washington, D.C. And I tried a Q2 and I tried a Q3. The Q3 is incredible. It's really nice. When I tried the Q2 EVF, it's only $3.6 million EVF. But I was pleasantly surprised at how good the EVF is. And I'm about to say something, and please don't take any offense to this, because if you have never owned one of these, or if you have never truly experienced one of these, you have no idea what I'm talking about. But if you have, you know exactly what I'm about to say. Canon, Nikon, Sony, blah, blah, blah. They all look good on paper. $5 million, $9 million. That's so great. Those EVFs, they look like shit. They look like total shit. This one at $3.6 million, when you look through it, try it. And you will have a very different opinion about EVFs. I don't know who makes their EVFs. And I don't know what they've done, the secret sauce. But what I see in that EVF, what I see on the back of the screen after I take the shot, and what I see in that computer, they are not that far apart from each other. That experience from the EVF to the computer all the way is seamless. And it's actually an accurate representation of what I'm photographing. It's that, to me, that's huge, the user experience. So the EV1 has even a better EVF at $9,000. Now, yeah, you can buy whatever lens you like, and you can customize it to, any which way you like. That EV1 for $9,000 is truly an incredible machine, except for one thing that I have a problem with, and that is I don't believe that it actually has in-body image stabilization for a 60 megapixel sensor. To me, that is, I don't know what to say. This one here has an image stabilizer in the lens, and so does the Q3. The EV1 does not. So most Leica lenses that you buy for the M lineup, they don't have optical image stabilizers built into the lens. So number one, your technique has to be really good, right? You can't have shaky hands and whatnot. So let's talk about why Leica did what they did. They put the EVF in, and some of this is going to resonate with some of you. Some of this is probably going to take us down a path where you might disagree. And that's okay if you do. We can agree to disagree. But I've been watching Leica for a very long time, right? Always wanted it, but something or the other got in the way. Buy this, buy that, buy the R5, buy the R7, buy this, buy that. I just kept on spending money on stuff. That's what I did. You do whatever you want to do. Let's talk about demographics. The Leica buyer, right? Who is the Leica buyer? Who can afford a $9,000 camera body? Who can afford a $7,000 camera like this that you see? It's not your average Joe, right? It's not your, you know, no pun intended. It's not your Nikon Z6 III user or your Canon R6 III user. That's not who this is for, right? They're looking for a bargain, and they want everything under the sun for that bargain that they pay money for. This thing doesn't even have phase detect autofocus in there, but it does incredible autofocus for Leica. It's pretty damn good. With the EV1, you got to manually focus, right? Most lenses are manual focus for that. With this, it will autofocus for you, allow you to manual focus as well. So it gives you best of both worlds. That was another reason. Back to the demographics. Most of the people that are buying this caliber of gear today, they do okay financially to be able to support it. And if you're buying this, you know, just to, I hate to use the word, but to show off, don't do it. You're going to be broke very soon, right? That red dot can get very expensive very fast. Every little thing is not cheap. But if you truly believe that that's what you should have, and you're totally into it, and you have either disposable income or saved income, go for it. Do it. Because that experience is something. Demographics, again. So most of the people that are buying this are in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, and in that, you don't see a lot of 20-year-olds going out there and spending, you know, $9,000 on a camera body and then buying $10,000 worth of lenses. You don't see that very, very much, right? It doesn't even have an HDMI port on it, so I can't even show you the EVF. You gotta go try one, right? That's part of the experience, by the way. They did that on purpose. No, they didn't. It's just not in there. It's just a solid sealed block of metal. So when you're in that age bracket, like myself, I'm in that age bracket. When I look through the optical viewfinder, it's perfectly fine. When I look through a rangefinder, as I get older and older and older, it's going to get harder to be able to see through there. That EVF can be godsend for you, and to be able to still experience that, you know, the Leica-ness of the camera. So a lot of the things that we have in the Q, which you will see, like you see these frame lines that have popped up in here. I'm just trying to bring it so you can see it. And I have it programmed right here, so I'm going to try to toggle through it, and maybe you can see these different lines coming up through there. That's letting you know what's in frame and what's not. It obviously crops into the image to do that. But it allows you to get the same kind of concept, right? With this one here, I mean, once I crop in, I still have a fairly respectable size image, right? When I crop into it, because of the 47 megapixels. So if you are someone that has trouble seeing and things like that, you might want that EVF as you get into the higher age, right, part of your life, that stage of your life. That's who it's really for. So they are pretty smart. They've been around for about 100 years, and most people that have followed Leica for a long time, like I said, they're in that demographic, so you can't really blame them for doing what they're doing. I think it can be a very welcome thing for people in that age, because they're solving for that problem, as your eyes are not quite as good as they used to be. And they're not going to get better, right, as you get older. I know mine's not, for sure. but maybe yours is. I don't know. You're specialized. So the EV1, to summarize it, is an incredible camera. But that camera did not tickle my fancy. The Q2 did. Because I wanted that 28 millimeter lens. I am a very big proponent of 28 millimeters. If you're not, then you're not. It's not for everyone. The Sony RX1R Mark II that I have has the 35 f2 on there. It's 35 millimeter. It's not 28. So this particular Summilux lens is pretty incredible. It's not good. It's incredible. The image quality is outstanding. And more videos coming with the actual photos. And we can even, pixel peep in the computer itself if your heart's desire. But you don't buy a Leica to pixel peep. If you're pixel peeping and you're buying a Leica, you're wasting your money. You might as well just go buy something else that's technically perfect, that's going to give you better results for 1/3 the price. That's why people say Leica is a rich person's, show-off toy or whatever. It's not. It's a tool to produce and make art. And the people that really shoot Leica, that people that actually buy them, first of all, with their own money, not just some YouTuber that got it to review and has to send it back. People that actually have spent their own money buying it, you will see that they are a different breed of people. They're just different. You'll see that, right? They're not constantly trying to go against mine's better than yours. Show me your photos. Show me what you can produce. Show me the beauty that you captured with this thing. That's what we should be concentrating on. With that, I hope this helps. It's just my 2 cents on it. Leica's done a hell of a job. They obviously got me to pick up one of these, and I have some flash units on the way for this Q2, and we'll start to do some cool things with that. So more to come. And if you like a Leica, then you should maybe consider dumping off some of your gear and try to get one for yourself. That's what I did. Don't go out there and break your bank, but make sure you do go out there and truly break your SD cards or whatever cards your camera uses and capture some beautiful images out there. So with that, like, subscribe, be nice to each other, go out there, create your magic. For now, you should start getting a lot more content on this channel. I suffered with plantar fasciitis for many months, and it was very painful. I found some relief and cure for some of it. It's not all gone, but it's much better, so I feel better. So with that, more content coming your way. So like I said, have a great weekend. Be nice to each other, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Thank you.